Welcome to the Neophyte in the Woods podcast with Andrew McDowell.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Neophyte in the Woods podcast. I am your host, Andrew McDowell. It is the beginning of June. Actually, it's not the beginning of June anymore. It's June 21st. It's the first day of summer. I'm coming to you guys live, just back from a little fishing trip. I guess this is not technically live either, considering it'll air later and whatever. So, a couple of administrative things before we start talking. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I'm going to be going to a every other week format for this show. I picked up a couple of side jobs to help pay for some projects that are going on. And unfortunately, that requires time that I'd otherwise be devoting to scheduling this. So look for me every other week instead of every week. I'm hoping to have some good content coming up for you guys, talking about what you can do in the summer to make your fall successful and frame of mind in planning. Those are coming. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Today we're going to talk about something that I've been participating in for a little while. By participating, I guess I actually mean buying. Monthly subscription boxes. These are really varied products. The ones that I have traditionally participated in are definitely outdoor themed. But my inner nerd also got one a while ago as a gift from my wife, and I just want to talk about the outdoor focused ones. I think it's an interesting idea and concept and model. I also was briefly sponsored by a company that does monthly boxes, and it didn't work out for a variety of reasons, mostly because I don't think their product was particularly good, and I don't think I would recommend it to folks who are spending $50 a month on something. I think the opposite is true of the one that I've been a member of the longest, HuntVault. I've been members with them, it's got to be 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And every single month there's something in the box that I really enjoy or am excited about. This most recent box that I just got today actually had a new pocket knife. I'm a knife nerd, I guess you could say. I don't spend a ton on them, but I have a lot of them. And more exciting for me personally right now was the broadheads that they put in there. I got my first bow from the Average Hunter auction raffle thing earlier this year, and I've been shooting it a lot. I'm finally starting to figure it out. And this month when I opened the box, I was surprised and delighted to see a set of broadheads. I'm interested in seeing how they fit on, and hopefully the entrance and exit wound that they make on a deer this fall. For those of you who aren't familiar with the concept, a monthly subscription box is really what the name implies. For a fee every month, a curator will send you a whole bunch of items or a few higher ticket items that are along a certain theme. So I did one called Post Fly. I'm a a fly fisherman in addition to everything else, and I like to tie my own flies, but I don't always have time to do it, and these days have even less time to do it. So it was fun to get different flies that you can use in different ways. I mostly got the top water, I guess warm waters is a more appropriate name, flies for bass fishing, lake fishing, that type of thing. If you haven't, catching a largemouth bass on a 5 or a 6 weight fly rod is a ton of fun. Just a parenthetical note there. You should try it if you haven't before. So I did post fly for about a year. I thought the product was great. The flies that they sent were interesting and varied, and some of the extra swag that you get in there was really cool. For example, they throw in stickers every month, and I have an Nalgene that I've slowly but surely covered with those stickers. But also they'll throw in a leader or some tippet or croquis to keep your sunglasses on your head while you're fishing. That type of thing. It's a little added bonus for you for being a member. They also include I don't want to call it a newspaper, but it's a newspaper style document that explains what the flies are for each of the packs. They have warm water, they have salt water, they have predator, they have trout, they have all that type of stuff. They have a fly tying one that comes out, and you follow the instructions and learn how to tie the fly with what they sent you. It's a cool concept, and if I fly fish more or had more time, I would definitely would have done it. The other one that I've participated in and that I really like, as I said before, is HuntVault. The content of the box is going to vary along a theme every single month, from harvest to EDC to storage to western hunting, depending on what the month is and which level of the box you go for. I've ordered a couple of their elite boxes, and those are really cool. You get backpacks, you get jackets, you get bibs, you get pants. It's a higher ticket item. I think it's about $150 a month, something like that. Definitely a really cool approach if you have the money and have the need. The kind of standard tier box is a little bit lower dollar value. I get 6 months for I think about $250, and they run discount codes regularly. And those discount codes not only get you like 10% off of your subscription, but frequently will come with like an added bonus. So for this renewal, they sent me a Vortex monocular that I can use in scouting and what have you. So that was a kind of a cool value add that I was really excited about. I've already used today. I was down at the lake fishing, and I took it with me just to see how it worked. And I was able to watch a couple of swans and their young kind of paddle around out in the middle of the lake. And they were good 300-400 yards. And I'm not going to say I could see them perfectly, but you could definitely see a lot more detail and get some idea of what they were doing and what was going on. So that was pretty neat. And in my opinion, of the outdoor boxes, HuntVault is the best. I have given them, at this point, probably thousands of dollars of my money, maybe $1,000 of my money. And, with a young family and a new house and all the responsibilities and costs that go along with that, I definitely wouldn't be subscribing year after year if I didn't believe in what they sent and what they did. And they've been great partners and friends to me whenever I've asked for something for a charity event or to celebrate an achievement, to give away to either followers on Twitter or when I had the blog, participants in that or as a fundraiser. They've always jumped right to it and offered more than I could possibly ask. So obviously I have some loyalty to them based on that, but the product is also really great and really interesting and good quality. They have partnerships with serious brands. For example, I mentioned Vortex before, Badlands packs, Gerber knives. They get this type of thing regularly, and they pass it on to you for less than what you would pay to buy the stuff in the store. I think that the broadheads I got retail for about $40, which is approximately what you pay a month if you went month by month for the box. So definitely do that, and check them out. I don't get any money from this. I don't get any kickback from it. It's just something that I believe in and think is a great value, and am always excited to get. Seeing that email in my box every month saying it's coming is always a highlight. That said, the boxes can at times be hit or miss. It's always fun to get something in the mail, but sometimes, you not with HuntVault so much, but with some of the other ones, I was left scratching my head, kind of saying, well, why would I need this, or what would I need this for? One of them was like a time theme from the folks who I worked with previously as sponsors. And it came with kind of a watch that I gave to my brother that he broke wearing like less than a couple of weeks. Like a portable sundial, which is of limited utility. I think that was pretty much it, coming from them. So when you're left scratching your head, it's a little bit frustrating, especially if you're paying, in the case of this previous company, $50 a month for them to send you stuff. It's a little bit frustrating. So, buyer beware, definitely do your research. There's a lot of folks who do unboxings of these. If you want to see the type of stuff that you get in these boxes, it's certainly worth taking a peek and taking a look and seeing what's in there. So that's one of the topics I wanted to touch on today. So the other one I wanted to kind of give an update on some of the gear that I've been using lately that I've been a big fan of. I think I want to start talking about the bow that I got, that I mentioned before. It's nothing particularly fancy. Call it an entry level bow at best. Widely flexible, a lot of draw lengths, a lot of draw weights available. It's a Mission Craze 2 by Matthews Archery. I took it to a local shop called Jerry's Bait and Tackle. If you're in the greater Milford area and you're looking for a great fishing shop, hunting shop, definitely go check out Jerry. He's a unique individual, loves hunting, loves fishing, loves talking about it, really knowledgeable about how to set up a bow, and gave me some really great advice about what to do for a completely novice archer. I've been shooting it a lot. When I'm not shooting it, I'm thinking about shooting it. It's a little bit of an obsession for me. I'm definitely not woods ready. However, I'm pleased with the forgiveness that the bow has to offer when it comes to firing it. I more often than not am in a pie plate of my target. This past week or so, I've definitely been 100%, or probably not 100%, let's say 80% first shot, right where I want it. And then as my arm starts to get tired, I spread out a little bit. But definitely a confidence boosting item, especially planning on taking it into the woods in about 3 or 4 months to hopefully put some meat on the table. The bow is, as I said, very forgiving, very flexible. It's not particularly fast. It's more on the area of about 300 feet per second at about 56 pounds of pull, which is more than enough to drive an arrow through a deer, but it's not by any stretch of the imagination a super fast, super powerful bow in that. In Massachusetts, you need to be pulling above 40 pounds. 16 above that, I'm confident is more than enough for me at the ranges that I'm going to be taking shots. This bow is definitely more designed for somebody planning to take shots at 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, maybe 40 yards. But past that, I don't think it would be an ethical decision to poke at a larger game animal with tough hides and heavy bones. So that, be that as it will, you have to take that into account. My level of confidence in my ability to shoot a bow being what it is, I'm not planning on taking shots much past 30. I have it zeroed at 20 with a 3-pin Trophy Ridge site. I think it's the Joker. It's a entry level site for an entry level bow. Certainly is more accurate than I am. Bright, clear, easy to see, has a level on the bottom, so I know if you're up and down. I'm a big fan of it. Maybe one of these days I'll go up to a fancier, more expensive one. I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'm going to have the built-in rangefinder or anything like that, but certainly for my purposes, it's more than enough. In terms of arrows for this bow, I'm using Beeman Carbon Defenders. They are pretty good quality arrows as far as I can tell. I mean, I've broken 3 of them of the 6 that I bought, but I'm not, I don't exactly have an ideal backstop. I'm shooting a target that's, relatively small. It's about the vital size of a smaller deer's torso in terms of height, and definitely, has the vital zone there, which is all I really want it for. But my backstop is the wooden retaining wall at the end of my driveway. So if I miss, it's not going into the woods, it's not going into hay bales, it's not going into something else. It's getting stuck, an inch into the wood and snapping. So I've lost 3 of those. That would notwithstanding, the quality of the arrows is pretty impressive. I'm a big fan. They fly true, the fletchings stay on. I haven't lost a knock, anything like that in the few weeks that I've been shooting it heavily. I haven't noticed much variance in the straightness of the arrows. When I roll them between my fingers or I'm looking down the shaft, it's straight as an arrow, no bucking, no curves, no nothing. So I think it's $50 for 6, something like that. It does everything I could ask it to do and more. So that's, I guess, good for me. I'm looking forward to shooting it a lot more and having more time outside with it and having a long, effective summer of practicing and hopefully, using it to put some food on my table come this fall. The other thing I've picked up recently that I'm excited about is a new tree stand. So last year I hunted out of a climber exclusively. It's a Summit Viper, I believe. I borrowed it from a friend. It's still sitting in my basement. If he doesn't ask for it back or we can't link it up, I'm planning on using it again during gun season. But I picked up a Summit The Peak hang-on stand and some sticks to go along with it. The stand, from when I set it up in my backyard, is comfortable, light. I frankly just used it to hang out the other day while I was grilling to see how easy it was to set up, and in the time it took to grill a few steaks and cook some potatoes on the grill, I was able to set it up and get comfortable in it and watch. It has the same type of seat that you would see in one of their climbers. It kind of lashes around the top the tree and floats, if you will. Very comfortable for long sits, short sits, anything like that. It's not the type of stand that I would suggest falling asleep in if that's something you like to do. It's definitely something that I enjoy. A good nap in the woods, even 20 feet up. It's an open front stand, so if you sleep and you pitch forward, you're gonna fall and you're not gonna have very much fun with it. That said, I'm looking forward to use it. It seems really comfortable for what it is. It's not a Barca Lounger in the sky or anything like that, but definitely for the price and for what I'm planning to use it for, that is to say archery season, I think it's going to fit my needs wonderfully. I looked at other brands, including Millennium. They have an M100U that's the same idea. It's more of a flip-up, flip-down seat, like a tree seat that you'd use on the ground. The price was, frankly, just more than I was willing to pay. The Summit on Amazon, the Peak was $130. The Millennium that I was looking at was $190. Just, that $70 makes a lot of difference if you're trying to buy a couple of stands. One of the things that drew me to the Summit peak hang on was it has a little footrest at the bottom. I like to put my feet up a little bit while I'm sitting in the tree, and it helps me stay comfortable and still a lot more than I would if my feet were flat on the ground. Not everybody has that same approach to being up there, but that's just how I like to approach my tree stands. The climber that I had this year definitely didn't have that, which was suboptimal for long sits where you're trying not to move and what have you. To go along with that stand, I picked up a set of Millennium M210 climbing sticks. They're strap-on sticks, just like you'd see coming from other brands. Priced right, only $84. They are a 20-foot tall set of sticks. The sticks are probably a little bit heavier than you'd see with one of the ultra premium brands like a Lone Wolf. They weigh, I think it's something like 17 pounds versus the stand's 28. So definitely not something that I'm planning on doing much run and gun with. That said, it definitely is going to suit my needs of setting it up in a spot and just leaving it there for the season, or leaving it in one place for archery season and transporting it somewhere else for gun season and in the in-between time. So it's definitely something I'm excited about giving a shot. I've never hunted from a fixed stand like that. I've hunted from a tripod. I've hunted from a ladder stand. And I've hunted from a climber. So this is going to be my first experience with a hang-on stand. So definitely something that I'll report back on. Hopefully it works out well for me this year. I have a new spot all picked out. Set up my camera, hoping for some good results. It seems like a little bit more of a deery spot than before. I had this is the same area where I tried to tackle a jake turkey and cut its throat this most recent turkey season. That obviously didn't work out for me, but hopefully it'll work for deer this fall. Not so much the tackling it, but hopefully more deer coming through and giving me a shot at them. So that's it for today. It's a pretty quick episode. Just wanted to give a little update. Coming up, like I said at the top of the episode, we're going to be talking about summer preparation and the stuff you can focus on there. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, and review to the Change Your POV podcast network. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, all wherever you get your podcasts. The other thing, a couple of my co-hosts have recently released books. Dwayne France, who hosts the show earlier in the week about veteran mental health, just released a book called Combat Vet Don't Mean Crazy. It's available on Amazon. And our fearless leaders, Bennett and Eddie, released a compilation of quotes and thoughts from the Motivation Monday series. It just came out this week, so definitely please go buy it, check it out. I know that they'd appreciate it, and I would too. Thanks a lot, and have a great rest of the week. Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Neophyte in the Woods. Just popping in real quick, wanting to do a quick kind of bumper out here. We here at Neophyte in the Woods and the Change Your POV network do this all out of the goodness of our hearts. We legitimately love and are passionate about the subjects about which we speak. However, that doesn't mean that we're not absorbing some costs. And one of the ways we're trying to address the overhead costs associated with putting out these podcasts is to do Patreon, and you can find a link to it right down at the bottom in the kind of the episode show notes on our website. If you could donate anything that you're able to support us and help us get this content coming out to you, it would be very much appreciated. There are tiers of membership from $1 all the way up to $10, and you can donate more than that. For our backers, our Patreon patrons, we do offer some unique content. We've been doing weekly shows where we do a live stream and we talk about a quote on Mondays. It's normally right around 8 p.m. Eastern. There's also some other cool rewards, including the level at which I back at $10 a month. You can actually get, believe it or not, a signed autographed picture of our fearless leaders, Bennett and Eddie,
It really changed my life. It sits actually right up above the computer where I record all this stuff. I take it with me when I go hunting. I take it with me when I go fishing. I take it with me when I go to work. It goes everywhere with me. Some people have an EDC pocket knife. I have an EDC picture of Ben and Eddie. I would really strongly suggest you back us and keep the good work that we're doing coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. Thanks for leaving us reviews on iTunes. And we'll talk to you next week.